And welcome back to another Bible study, everybody. I am pretty excited about this, man. I feel like we're gonna have a good Bible study today. All right, so I'll go ahead and get us started. Genesis 35. Jacob returns to Bethel. God said to Jacob, "Arise, go up to Bethel and settle there. Make an altar there to the God who appeared to you when you fled from your brother Esau." So Jacob said to his household and to all who were with him, "Put away the foreign gods that are among you and purify yourselves and change your clothes. Then come, let us go up to Bethel, that I may make an altar there to the God who answered me in the day of my distress, and has been with me wherever I have gone." So they gave to Jacob all the foreign gods that they had and the rings that were in their ears, and Jacob hid them under the oak that was near Shechem. As they journeyed, a terror from God fell upon the cities all around them, so that no one pursued them. Jacob came to Luz, that is Bethel, which is in the land of Canaan. And he and all the people who were with him, and there he built an altar and called the place El Bethel, because it was there that God had revealed himself to him when he fled from his brother. And Deborah, Rebekah's nurse, died, and she was buried under an oak below Bethel. So it was called Alon Bakuth. I might be mispronouncing it, guys. Sorry. Uh, God appeared to Jacob again when he came from Padan Aram, and he blessed him. God said to him, "Your name is Jacob. No longer shall you be called Jacob, but Israel shall be your name." So he was called Israel. God said to him, "I am God Almighty. Be fruitful and multiply. A nation and a company of nations shall come from you, and kings shall spring from you. The land that I gave to Abraham and Isaac, I will give to you." Excuse me. The land that I gave to Abraham and Isaac, I will give to you, and I will give the land to your offspring after you. Then God went up from him at the place where he had spoken with him. Jacob set up a pillar in the place where he had spoken with him, a pillar of stone, and he poured out a drink offering on it and poured oil on it. So Jacob called the place where God had spoken with him Bethel. The birth of Benjamin and the death of Rachel. Then they journeyed from Bethel, and when they were still some distance from Ephrath, Rachel was in childbirth, and she had hard labor. When she was in her hard labor, the midwife said to her, "Do not be afraid, for now you have another son." As her soul was departing, for she was dying, she named him Ben-Oni, but his father called him Benjamin. And Rachel died, and she was buried on the way to Ephrath, that is Bethlehem. And Jacob set up a pillar at her grave. It is the pillar of Rachel's tomb, which is there to this day. Israel journeyed on and pitched his tent beyond the tower of Eder. While Israel lived in that land, Reuben went and lay with Bilhah, his father's concubine, and Israel heard of it. Now the sons of Jacob were 12. The sons of Leah, Reuben, Jacob's firstborn, Simeon, Levi, Judah, Issachar, and Zebulun. The sons of Rachel, Joseph and Benjamin. The sons of Bilhah, Rachel's maid, Dan and Naphtali. The sons of Zilpah, Leah's maid, Gad and Asher. These were the sons of Jacob who were born to him in Padan Aram. The death of Isaac. Jacob came to his father Isaac at Mamre, or Kiriath Arba, that is Hebron, where Abraham and Isaac had resided as aliens. Now the days as Isaac were the days of Isaac were 180 years, and Isaac breathed his last. He died and was gathered to his people, old and full of days. And his son Esau and Jacob buried him, his sons Esau and Jacob buried him.
Esau's descendants. These are the descendants of Esau, that is, Edmund. Esau took his wives from the Canaanites, if I'm pronouncing it right. Ada, daughter of Elon the Hittite. I don't know how to pronounce this, but Oholibnah, daughter of Anna, son of Ziben the Hittite, and Basemath, Ishmael's daughter, sister of Nebaioth. Ada bore of Eliphaz to Esau. Basemath bore to Reuel. Oholib, I don't know how to pronounce it, to be honest, but I just gonna do my best. Bore to Jeush, Jalam, and Korah. These are the sons of Esau who were born to him in the land of Canaan. Then Esau took his wife, his sons, and his daughters, all the members of his household, his cattle, all the livestock, and all the property he had acquired in the land of Canaan, and he moved to the land of to the land some distance from his brother Jacob, for their possessions were too great for them to live together. The land where they were staying could not support them because of their livestock. So Esau settled in the hill country of Seir. Esau is Edom. These are the descendants of Esau, as ancestor of Edomites in the hill country of Seir. These are the names of Esau's son: Eliphaz, the son of Ada, the wife of Esau; Reuel, the son of Esau's wife Besmameth. The sons of Eliphaz were Teman, Omar, Zepho, Gatam, and Kenaz. Timur was a concubine of Eliphaz. Esau's son, she bore an Elimelech to Eliphaz. These were the sons of Eda, Esau's wife. These were the sons of Reuel: Nahith, Zerah, Shammah, and Mizah. These were the sons of Besmeth, Esau's wife. These were the sons of Esau's wife, Ohim, Oholim, Ohimabeth, daughter of Anna, son of Ziban. She bore to Esau's Jewess, Jalam, and Korah, clans and kings of Edom. These are the clans of the sons of Esau, the sons of Eliphaz, the firstborn of Esau, the clans: Teman, Omar, Zepho, Kenaz, Korah, Gatam, Elam, Amalek. These are the clans of Eliphaz in the land of Edom. They were the sons of Ada. These are the sons of Esau's sons: Reuel, the clans of Nahath, Zerah, Shammah, Mizah. These are the clans of Reuel in the land of Edom. They are the sons of Esau's wife Basemath. These are the sons of Esau's wife Ohol Oholmeth, however you pronounce it, the clans: Joz, Jalam, Korah. These are the clans of born of Esau's wife, the daughter of Anna. They are the sons of Esau, that is Edom, and these are the clans. These are the sons of Seir the Horite, the inhabitants of the land of Lotan: Shobal, Zibin, Anna, Dishon, Ezer, Dishan. These are the clans of Horites, the sons of Seir in the lands of Edom. The sons of Lotan were Hori, Hinam. The Lotan's sister was Timah. These are the sons of Shobal: Alvan, Manahath, Elba, Shipho, and Onem. They are the sons of Zibin. Ea, Anna. He is he is the Anna who found the springs in the wilderness as he pastured to the donkeys of his father Zibin. These are the children of Anna, Dishon, and Oholibamah, daughter of Anna. These are the sons of Dishon: Himadan, Eshban, uh, Ithran, Cheran. These are the sons of Ezer: Bilhan, Zaphan, and Akan. They are the sons of Dishan. Az, Aaron. They are the clans of the Horites, the clans of Lotan, Shobal, Zibeon, Anna, Dishon, Ezer, and Dishan. These are the clans of the Horites, clan by the clan, in the land of Seir. These are the kings who resigned in the land of Edom before they were king. resigned over the Israelites. Bela, the son of Beor, resigned in Edom, the name of the city being Dinhaba. Bela died, and Jacob, son of Jobab, son of Zerah of Bozrah, succeeded him as a king. Jobab died, and Hasham, the land of the Temanites, succeeded as a king. Hasham died, and Hadad, son of Bedad, who defeated Midian in the country of Moab, succeeded him as a king. Um, sorry, succeeded him as a king in the name of the city of being Ibith. Hadad died, and Samla of Mashareka succeeded him as a king. Samla died as Samla died, and Saul of Rehoboth of the Emirate succeeded him as a king. Shaul died, and Belhanan, son of Achbor, died, and Haida succeeded him as a king. The name of the city, Pau, his wife's name was Methatabel, the daughter of Mezahab. These are the names of the clans of Isu according to their families and their lo, lo, localities by the names of the clans: Tima, Alva, uh, Jetheth, Oholimamath, Ella, Penan, Kenaz, Teman, Mibzah, Magdal, uh, Iram. These are the clans of Edom. This is Ishu, the father of Edom, according to the settlement in the land of they had.
Dude, some of those names are difficult, aren't they?
I'm sure. I'll probably pronounce all of them wrong about like 90%.
Dude, I do my best sometimes, and legitimately, you can ask Adrian. Sometimes I'm just like, okay, I know I said that wrong.
Joseph dreams of greatness. Jacob settled in the land where his father had lived as an alien, the land of Canaan. These are the descendants of Jacob. Joseph, being 17 years old, was shepherding the flock with his brothers. He was a helper to the sons of Bilhah and Zilpah, his father's wives. And Joseph brought a bad report of them to their father. Now Israel loved Joseph more than any other of his children because he was the son of his old age. And he made him an ornamented robe. But when his brothers saw that their father loved him more than all his brothers, they hated him and could not speak peaceably to him. Once Joseph had a dream, and when he told it to his brothers, they hated him even more. He said to them, "Listen to this dream that I dreamed. There we were, binding sheaves in the field. Suddenly my sheaf rose and stood upright. Then your sheaves gathered around it and bowed down to my sheaf." His brothers said to him, "Are you indeed to reign over us? Are you indeed to have dominion over us?" So they hated him even more because of his dreams and his words. He had another dream and told it to his brothers, saying, "Look, I have another dream. The sun, moon, and 11 stars were bowing down to me." But when he told it to his father and to his father rebuked him and said to him, "What kind of dream is this that you have had? Shall we indeed come, I and your mother and your brothers, and bow to the ground before you?" So his brothers were jealous of him, but his father kept the matter in mind. Joseph is sold by his brothers. Now his brothers went to pasture their father's flock near Shechem. And Israel said to Joseph, "Are not your brothers pasturing at the flock at Shechem? Come, I will send you to them." He answered, Here I am. So he said to him, Go now, see if it is well with your brothers and with the flock, and bring word back to me. So he sent him from the valley of Hebron. He came to Shechem, and a man found him wandering in the fields. The man asked him, What are you seeking? I am seeking my brothers, he said. Tell me, please, where they are pasturing the flock. The man said, They have gone away, for I heard them say, Let us go to Dothan. So Joseph went after his brothers and found them at Dothan. They saw him from a distance, and before he came near to them, they conspired to kill him. They said to one another, Here comes this dreamer. Now, come now, let us kill him and throw him into one of the pits. Then we shall say that a wild animal has devoured him, and we shall see what will become of his dreams. But when Reuben heard it, he delivered him out of their hands, saying, Let us not take his life. Reuben said to them, Shed no blood. Throw him into this pit here in the wilderness, but lay no hand on him, that he might rescue him out of their hand and restore him to his father. So when Joseph came to his brothers, they stripped him of his robe, the ornamented robe that he wore, and they took him and threw him into a pit. The pit was empty, there was no water in it. Then they sat down to eat. And looking up, they saw a caravan of Ishmaelites coming from Gilead with their camels, carrying gum, balm, and resin on their way to carry it down to Egypt. Then Judah said to his brothers, What profit is it if we kill our brother and conceal his blood? Come, let us sell him to the Ishmaelites and not lay our hands on him. For he is our brother, our own flesh. And his brothers agreed. When some Midianite traders passed by, they drew Joseph off, lifting him out of the pit, and sold him to the Ishmaelites for 20 pieces of silver. And they took Joseph to Egypt. When Reuben returned to the pit, uh, when Reuben returned to the pit and saw that Joseph was not in the pit, he tore his clothes. He returned to his brothers and said, The boy is gone. Where can I turn? Then they took Joseph's robe, slaughtered a goat, and dipped the robe in the blood. They had the ornamented robe taken to their father and they said, This is what we have found. See now whether it is your son's robe or not. He recognized it and said, It is my son's robe. A wild animal has devoured him. Joseph has surely been torn to pieces. Then Jacob tore his garments and put sackcloth on his loins and mourned for his son many days. All his sons and all his daughters sought to comfort him, but he refused to be comforted and said, No, I shall go down to Sheol to my son, mourning. Thus his father bewailed him. Meanwhile, the Midianites had sold him in Egypt to Potiphar, one of the Pharaoh's officials, the captains of the guard. I just wanted to mention how it says like Midianites and Ishmaelites were like the same people. So basically Muslims in that context, like early Muslims, but they actually don't have like a record of from Ishmael to Muhammad. I'm just saying that. But if you
It,
go,
Exactly.
but
it,
according,
like,
yeah,
sorry, finish.
yeah, what were you gonna say?
No, I always hear Muslims saying that Islam or Muslims came from Ishmael. Is there any records of that being true or not?
No,
None.
No.
None at all, man. That's oh my gosh, man. That's actually one of the most laughable things to me is because I compare that claim to the Mormons claiming that an ancient Israelite tribe came to North America in like 600 BC or something.
and
Like
like
Well,
And like from this passage, we saw that Ishmaelites and the Midianites were same, right? So like
Yep.
the case doesn't get better for them because they turn out to sin later on in the Bible in Numbers, and they think they can use it as a claim when they started a war. Like it was a war based on lust, right? Numbers
Facts.
25. Yeah.
Chapter 38. Judah and Tamar. It happened at that time that Judah went down from his brothers and settled near a certain Adulamite whose name was Hira. There, Judah saw the daughter of a certain Canaanite whose name was Shua. He married her and went into her. He conceived and bore a son and named him Again, she conceived and bore a son, whom she named Onan. Yet again, she bore a son, and she named him Shelah. He was in Kazib when she bore him. Judah took a wife for his firstborn. Her name was Tamar. But Judah's firstborn, was wicked in the sight of the Lord, and the Lord put him to death. Then Judah said to Onan, go into your brother's wife and perform the duty of a brother in law to her. Raise up offspring for your brother. But since Onan knew that the offspring would not be his, he spilled his semen on the ground whenever he went into his brother's wife, so that he would not give offspring to his brother. What he did was displeasing in the sight of the Lord, and he put him to death also. Then Judah said to his daughter in law Tamar, remain a widow in your father's house until my son Shelah grows up. For he feared that he too would die like his brothers. So Tamar went to live in her father's house. In course of time, the wife of Judah, Shua's daughter, died when Judah's time of mourning was over. He went up to Timnah to his sheep shearers, he and his friend Hira the Adulamite. When Tamar was told, your father-in-law is going up to Timnah to shear his sheep, she put off her widow's garments, put on a veil, wrapped herself up, and sat down at an entrance to Enaim, which is on the road to Timnah. She saw that Shelah was grown up, yet she had not been given to him in marriage. When Judah saw her, he thought her to be a prostitute, for she had covered her face. He went over to her at the roadside and said, come, let me come into you, for he did not know that she was his daughter in law. She said, what will you give me that you may come into me? He answered, I will send you a kid from the flock. She said, only if you give me a pledge until you send it. He said, what pledge shall I give you? She replied, your signet and your cord and the staff that is in your hand. So he gave them to her and went into her, and she conceived by him. Then she got up and went away. Taking off her veil, she put on the garments of her widowhood. When Judah sent the kid by his friend the Adulamite to recover the pledge from the woman, he could not find her. He asked the townspeople, where is the prostitute who is at Enaim by the wayside? But they said, no prostitute has been here. So he returned to Judah and said, I have not found her. Moreover, the townspeople said, no prostitute has been here. Judah replied, let her keep the things as her own, otherwise we will be laughed at. You see, I sent this kid and you could not find her. About 3 months later, Judah was told, your daughter-in-law Tamar has prostituted herself. Moreover, she is pregnant as a result of prostitution. And Judah said, bring her out and let her be burned. As she was being brought out, she sent word to her father in law, it was the owner of these who made me pregnant. And she said, take note, please, whose these are, the signet and the cord and the staff. Then Judah acknowledged them and said, she is more in the right than I, since I did not give her to my son Shelah. And he did not lie with her again. When the time of her delivery came, there were twins in her womb. While she was in labor, one put out a hand, and the midwife took and bound on his hand a crimson thread, saying, this one came out first. But when he drew back his hand and and out came his brother, and she said, what a breach you have made for yourself. Therefore he was named Perez. Afterward, his brother came out with the crimson thread on his hand, and he was named Zerah.
Joseph and Potiphar's wife. Now Joseph was taken down to Egypt, and Potiphar, an officer of Pharaoh, the captain of guard, an Egyptian, brought him to the Ishmaelites, who had brought him down there. The Lord was with Joseph, and became successful men. He was the he was in the house of the Egyptian master. His master saw that the Lord was with him, and the Lord caused all that he did to prosper in his hands. So Joseph found favor in the sight and attended him. He made him overseer of his house and put him in charge of all that he had. From the time that from the time that he made him overseer um, in his house, sorry, overseer in his house, all over that he had, the Lord blessed the Egyptian house for Joseph's sake. The blessing of the Lord was all of that he had, and in the house and field, so that he left all that he had in Joseph's charge. And with him they had no concern for anything but for the food that he ate. Now Joseph was handsome, good looking, and after a time his master's wife cast her eyes onto Joseph and said, "Lie with me." But he refused and said to his master's wife, "Look, with me here, my master has no concern about anything in the house. He has put me everything he has put everything that he has in my hand. He is no greater in this house than I am, nor that he kept back anything from me except yourself, because you are his wife. How then could I do this great of wickedness and sin against God?" Although that she spoke to Joseph day after day, he would not consent to lie beside her or to be with her. One day, however, when he went into the house to do his work, and while no one was in the house, she caught hold of his garment, saying, "Lie with me." But he left his garment in her hand and fled and ran outside. When she saw that he had left his garment in her hand and had fled outside, she called out to the masters of the household and said to them, um, sorry, see, my husband has brought among an Hebrew to insult us. He came into me and lie with me, and I cried out with a loud voice. Um, and when he heard that he raised my voice and cried out, he left his garment beside me and fled outside. Then she kept then she kept his garment by her until his master came home. She told him the same story, saying, "The Hebrew servant whom you have brought among us came into me to insult me. But as soon as I raised my voice and cried out, he left his garment beside me and fled outside." When his master heard these words, his wife spoke to him, saying, "This is the way your servants treated me." He became enraged. Joseph's master took him and put him into a prison, the place where the king's prisoners were confined. He remained there in prison. But the Lord was with Joseph, showed him steadfast love. He gave him favor in the sight of the chief jailer. The chief jailer committed to Joseph care for all the prisoners who were in prison. However, was done there. He was the one who did it. The chief jailer paid no heed to anything that was in Joseph's care because the Lord was with him. However, the Lord made it prosper.
Chapter 40. The dreams of two prisoners. Sometime after this, the cupbearer of the king of Egypt and his baker offended their lord, the king of Egypt. Pharaoh was angry with his two officers, the chief cupbearer and the chief baker, and he put them in custody in the house of the captain of the guard, in the prison where Joseph was confined. The captain of the guard charged Joseph with them, and he waited on them, and they continued for some time in custody. One night they both dreamed, the cupbearer and the baker of the king of Egypt, who were confined in the prison, each his own dream, and each dream with its own meaning. When Joseph came to them in the morning, he saw that they were troubled. So he asked the Pharaoh's officers, who were with him in custody in his master's house. Why are your faces downcast today? They said to him, we have had dreams, and there is no one to interpret them. And Joseph said to them, do not interpretations belong to God? Uh, Please tell them to me. So the chief cupbearer told his dream to Joseph and said to him, in my dream there was a vine before me, and on the vine there were three branches. As soon as it budded, its blossoms came out, and the clusters ripened into grapes. Pharaoh's cup was in my hand, and I took the grapes and pressed them into Pharaoh's cup, and placed the cup in Pharaoh's hand. Then Joseph said to him, this is its interpretation. The three branches are 3 days. Within 3 days, the Pharaoh will lift up your head and restore you to your office. And you shall place Pharaoh's cup in his hand, just as you used to do when you were his cupbearer. But remember me when it is well with you. Please do me the kindness to make mention of me to Pharaoh, and so get me out of this place. For in fact, I was stolen out of the land of the Hebrews, and here I also have done nothing that they should have put me into the dungeon. When the chief baker saw that the interpretation was favorable, he said to Joseph, I also had a dream. There were three caskets on my head, and in the three baskets on my head, and in the uppermost basket there were all sorts of baked food for the Pharaoh. But the birds were eating it out of the basket on my head. And Joseph answered, this is its interpretation. The three baskets are 3 days. Within 3 days, the Pharaoh will lift up your head from you and hang you on a pole, and the birds will eat the flesh from you. On the third day, which was Pharaoh's birthday, he made a feast for all his servants and lifted up the head of the chief cupbearer and the head of the chief baker among his servants. He restored the chief cupbearer to his cupbearing, and he placed the cup in the Pharaoh's hand. But the chief baker he hanged, just as Joseph interpreted to them. Yet the chief cupbearer did not remember Joseph, but forgot him.
Yeah, because that's super helpful. You know, you make this promise to this guy who interprets your dream perfectly, but you just don't remember. Ridiculous. Chapter 41. Joseph interprets Pharaoh's dream. After 2 whole years, Pharaoh dreamed that he was standing by the Nile, and there came up out of the Nile 7 sleek and fat cows, and they grazed in the reed grass. Then 7 other cows, ugly and thin, came up out of the Nile after them, and stood by the other cows on the bank of the Nile. The ugly and thin cows ate up the 7 sleek and fat cows, and Pharaoh awoke. Then he fell asleep and dreamed a second time. 7 ears of grain, plump and good, were growing on one stalk. Then 7 ears, thin and blighted by the east wind, sprouted after them. The thin ears swallowed up by the 7 plump and full ears. Pharaoh awoke, and it was a dream. In the morning his spirit was troubled, so he sent and called for all the magicians of Egypt and all its wise men. Pharaoh told them his dreams, but there was no one who could interpret them to Pharaoh. Then the chief cupbearer said to Pharaoh, I remember my faults today. Oh, now you do. Once Pharaoh was angry with his servants and put me and the chief baker in custody in the house of the captain of the guard. We dreamed on the same night, he and I, each having a dream with its own meaning. A young Hebrew was there with us, a servant of the captain of the guard. When we told him, he interpreted our dreams to us, giving us an interpretation to each according to his dream. As he interpreted to us, so it turned out. I was restored to my office, and the baker was hanged. Then Pharaoh sent for Joseph, and he was hurriedly brought out of the dungeon. When he had shaved himself and changed his clothes, he came in before Pharaoh, and Pharaoh said to Joseph, I had a dream, and there is no one who can interpret it. I have heard it said of you, excuse me, I've heard it said of you that when you hear a dream, you can interpret it. Joseph answered Pharaoh, it is not I. God will give Pharaoh a favorable answer. Then Pharaoh said to Joseph, in my dream, I was standing on the banks of the Nile, and 7 cows, fat and sleek, came up out of the Nile and fed in the reed grass. Then another 7 cows came up after them, poor and very ugly and thin. Never had I seen such ugly ones in all the land of Egypt. The thin and ugly cows ate up the first 7 fat cows. But when they had eaten them, no one would have known they had done so, for they were still as ugly as before. Then I awoke. I fell asleep a second time, and I saw in my dream 7 ears of grain, full and good, growing on one stalk, and 7 ears withered, thin, and blighted by the east wind sprouting after them. And the thin ears swallowed up the 7 good ears. But when I told it to the magicians, there was no one that could explain it to me, or no one who could explain it to me. Then Joseph said to Pharaoh, Pharaoh's dreams are one and the same. God has revealed to Pharaoh what he is about to do. The 7 good cows are 7 years, and the 7 good ears are 7 years. The dreams are one. The 7 lean and ugly cows that came up after them are 7 years, as are the 7 empty ears blighted by the east wind. They are 7 years of famine. It is as I told Pharaoh. God has shown to Pharaoh what he is about to do. There will come 7 years of great plenty throughout all the land of Egypt. After them, there will arise 7 years of famine, and all the plenty will be forgotten in the land of Egypt. The famine will consume the land. The plenty will no longer be known in the land because of the famine that will follow, for it will be very grievous. And the doubling of Pharaoh's dream means that the thing is fixed by God, and God will shortly bring it about. Now therefore let Pharaoh select a man who is discerning and wise, and set him over the land of Egypt. Let Pharaoh proceed to appoint overseers over the land, and take 1/5 of the produce of the land of Egypt during the 7 plenteous years. Let them gather all the food of these good years that are coming, and lay up grain under the authority of Pharaoh for food in the cities, and let them keep it. That food shall be a reserve for the land against the 7 years of famine that are to befall the land of Egypt, so that they may not perish through the famine. Joseph's rise to power. The proposal pleased Pharaoh and all his servants. Pharaoh said to his servants, "Can we find anyone else like this one in whom is the spirit of God?" So Pharaoh said to Joseph, since God has shown you all this, there is no one so discerning and wise as you. You shall be over my house, and all the people shall order themselves as you command. Only with regard to the throne will I be greater than you. And Pharaoh said to Joseph, see, I have set you over all the land of Egypt. Removing his signet ring from his hand, Pharaoh put it on Joseph's hand. He arrayed him in garments of fine linen and put a gold chain around his neck. He had him ride in the chariot of his second in command, and they cried out in front of him, "Bow the knee!" Thus he set him over all the land of Egypt. Moreover, Pharaoh said to Joseph, I am Pharaoh, and without your consent, no one shall lift up hand or foot in all the land of Egypt. Pharaoh gave Joseph the name Zephanath Paneah, and he gave him Asenath, daughter of Potiphar, priest of On, as his wife. Thus Joseph gained authority over the land of Egypt. Joseph was 30 years old when he entered the service of Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and Joseph went out from the presence of Pharaoh and went through all the land of Egypt. During the 7 plenteous years, the earth produced abundantly. He gathered up all the food of the 7 years when there was plenty in the land of Egypt, and stored up in the cities. He stored up in every city the food from the fields around it. So Joseph stored up grain in such abundance, like the sand of the sea, that he stopped measuring it. It was beyond measure. Before the years of famine came, Joseph had 2 sons from Asenath, daughter of Potiphar, priest of On, bore to him. Joseph named the firstborn Manasseh, for he said, God has made me forget all my hardship and all my father's house. The second he named Ephraim, for God has made me fruitful in the land of my misfortunes. The 7 years of plenty that prevailed in the land of Egypt came to an end, and the 7 years of famine began to come, just as Joseph had said. There were famine in every country, but throughout the land of Egypt there was bread. When all the land of Egypt was famished, the people cried to Pharaoh for bread. Pharaoh said to all the Egyptians, "Go to Joseph, what he says to you, do." And since the famine had spread over all the land, Joseph opened all the storehouses and sold to the Egyptians, for the famine was severe in the land of Egypt. Moreover, all the world came to Joseph in Egypt to buy grain, because the famine became severe throughout the world.
Genesis chapter 42. Joseph's brothers go to Egypt. When Jacob learned that there was grain in Egypt, he said to his sons, "Why do you keep looking at one another? I have heard," he said, "that there is grain in Egypt. Go down and buy grain for us there, that we may live and not die." So uh, J- so 10 of Joseph's brothers went down to buy grain in Egypt. But Jacob did not send Joseph's brother Benjamin with his brothers, for he feared that harm might come to him. Thus, the sons of Israel were among the people who came to buy grain, for the famine had reached the land of Canaan. Now, Joseph was governor over the land. It was he who sold to all the people of the land. And Joseph's brothers came and bowed themselves before him with their face to the ground. When Joseph saw his brothers, he recognized them, but he treated them like strangers and spoke harshly to them. "Where do you come from?" he said. They said, "From the land of Canaan, to buy food." Although Joseph had recognized his brothers, they did not recognize him. Joseph also remembered that the dreams that he had dreamed about. He said to them, "You are spies. You have come to see the nakedness of the land." They said to him, "No, my lord, your servants have come to buy food. We are all sons of one man. We are honest men. Your servants have never been spies." But he said to them, "No, you have come to see the nakedness of the land." They say, they said, "We, your servants, are 12 brothers, the sons of a certain man in the land of Canaan. The youngest, however, is now with our father, and one is no more." But Joseph said to them, "It is just as I have said to you. You are spies. Here is how you shall be tested. As Pharaoh lives, you shall not leave this place unless your youngest brother comes here. Let one of you go and bring your brother, while the rest of you remain in prison, in order that your words may be tested, whether there is truth in you, or else, as Pharaoh lives, surely you are spies." And he put them all together in prison for 3 days. On the third day, Joseph said to them, "Do this, and you will live, for I fear God. If you are honest men, let one of your brothers stay here, where you are imprisoned. The rest of you shall go and carry grain for the famine of your households, and bring your youngest brother to me. Thus your words will be verified, and you shall not die." And they agreed to do so. They said to one another, "Alas, we are paying the penalty for what we did to our brother. We saw his anguish when he pleaded with us, but we would not listen. That is why this anguish has come upon us." Then Reuben answered them, "Did I not tell you not to wrong the boy? But you would not listen. So now there comes a reckoning for his blood." They did not know that Joseph understood them, since he spoke with them through an interpreter. He turned away from them and wept. Then he returned and spoke to them. And he picked out Simeon and had him bound before their eyes. Joseph then gave orders to fill their bags with grain, to return every man's money to his sack. and to give them provisions for their journey. This was done for them. Joseph's brothers returned to Canaan. He loaded their donkeys with their grain and departed. When one of them opened his sack to give his donkey fodder at the lodging place, he saw his money at the top of the sack. He said to his brothers, "My money has been put back. Here it is in my sack." At this they lost heart and turned trembling to one another, saying, "What is this that God has done to us?" When they came to their father Jacob in the land of Canaan, they told him all that happened, saying, "The man, the Lord of the land, spoke harshly to us and charged us with spying on the land. But we said to him, We are honest men, we are not spies. We are 12 brothers, sons of our father. One is no more, and the youngest is now with our father in the land of Canaan." Then the man, the Lord of the land, said to us, "By this I shall know that you are honest men. Leave one of your brothers here with me. Take grain. Uh, leave one of your brothers with me. Take grain for the famine of your households and go your way. Bring your youngest brother to me, and I shall know that you are not spies but honest men. Then I will release your brother to you, and you may be able to, and you may trade in the land." As they were emptying their sacks, there in each one's sack was his bag of money. When they saw that, when they and their father saw their bundles of money, they were dismayed. And their father Jacob said to them, I am the one you have bereaved of children. Joseph is no more, and Simeon is no more. And now you would take Benjamin. All this has happened to me. Then Reuben said to his father, "You may kill my two sons if I do not bring him back to you. Put him in my hands, and I will bring him back to you." But he said, "My son shall not go down with you, for his brother is dead, and he alone is left. If harm should come to him on the journey that you are to make, you would bring down my gray hairs with sorrow to Sheol." That is Genesis 35 to 42, 8 chapters. And
Yep,
we'll,
we got 8 left.
yep,
All right, guys. So, for those who are watching, comment your thoughts. How you guys liking Genesis so far? I mean, there's a. I think it's very interesting with Genesis how there are so many very, very just crucial details here.
yep,
You know what I mean? I mean, maybe I'm just overlooking it, but it just seems like, especially, from my recollection of reading, Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy, we're going to be seeing a lot of that, brother. So just be expecting of that. Anything you got? Anything you want to say to the nice people?
yeah. So thank you for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to mention them. And yeah, hope you could be a part of our Bible studies. Just drop a comment and we will get you in. Yeah.
Amen. God bless, guys.
God bless
Stay
you.
safe.
Stay safe.